I'm going to tell you a short story about myself that happened junior and senior year of high school. It was embarrassing at the time, but I didn't let it discourage me. It's called The Kick and the Miss. One day, when I was emptying my backpack, one folder and one notebook at a time, my best friend Nikki J came running over to my locker with a wide smile that was placid on her face. Powder Puff sign-ups are today. She looked forward to those first few weeks of spring all year, and I had almost forgotten. Powder Puff was big at our school. The bleachers were always full for Powder Puff, and the rivalry between the seniors and juniors grew every year, and for some reason the winner of the girls vs. girls football game would prove which was the best class. Meetings start tomorrow. Practice right after. I shuffled all my books into my locker at once, slamming the door when I heard the news. We were considered upperclassmen now since we were juniors, and it was finally our turn to fight for the title of best class. I want to be a kicker. All those long, exhausting years of soccer would finally come in handy. The kickers didn't play in the actual game as much. Instead, they were left for the end of the game in case we needed to go into overtime and kick for field goals. As soon as practices started, we happened to have the warmest few spring weeks we've had in a while. Everyone was sweating and tired, but as soon as that high-pitched whistle was blown, it was like a pack of animals chasing their prey. There was tripping and falling that sounded like it left bruises. I didn't mind avoiding all the dirt and scratches. I was lined up with 5 other girls kicking field goal after field goal. I never missed and would even back up to some crazy distance to see if I could make it, and I always did. However, I think I spoke too soon. It was 9:30 at night. The fans were filled with more energy than they had started with from the beginning. The game was so close that you could feel the tension in the air. I had practiced 100 times, and all I had to do was kick one more. 4 of us had already gone. 2 made it, 2 didn't. We were still tied with the seniors, and all I had to do to wrap up the game was kick a good one for us, and we'd automatically win. It felt as if the world around me suddenly became slow motion, and I was able to soak in all of my surroundings. I was so nervous. Go, Gina! Go, Gina! I could hear my parents yelling from the stands. I wanted everyone to stop watching me. I wanted it to all be over already. Instead of making sure I took 3 steps back and 2 steps to my left in preparation, I rushed myself. As soon as I saw Lexi O'Toole plant the football in that small rectangular block for me to kick, I kicked. A rocket whizzed through the air and nailed the post, sending a loud metal echo throughout the field. It had happened so fast, I didn't even realize until the silence of the dispirited crowd finally made it to my head. It almost didn't seem real. I never missed before, and I would choose the winning game to finally mess up. I avoided all eyes, and I simply tried to process what had just happened. 2 minutes later, the last senior kicked and made it. It was all over. It's okay, you weren't the only one that missed. I shrugged my mom's hand off my shoulder and walked to the car that seemed to be parked in China. I beat myself up about it for a while. I was so mad that I had done that. Surely I did not want to be remembered as the girl who kicked a bullet, so I was determined to get redemption. Now I was the one wearing that thick black face paint under my eyes. The field was just as torn apart as last time, and the game was just as exciting. 4 seniors went, and they all made it. I made sure I went last, just like last time. I wanted to have that pressure on me again because I knew I could do it. The football was put into place, and I had 10 seconds to kick. I moved slow, and my nerves weren't as bad. I looked up at my parents, which brought me comfort this time, and I looked over at my team, who had seen me kick how many field goals. I took a few steps and watched the ball leave my laces. I didn't take my eyes off the ball. It cruised through the air, unlike last time, and was perfectly centered in between the 2 tall, bright yellow poles that stood still. I did it. I can't even begin to express my joy and relief in that moment. The crowd roared with screams of excitement. Nikki J came running onto the field with the rest of the seniors, who proceeded to knock me to the ground. The weight of 20 girls piled on top of me squished me into the dirt, but I didn't care. I refused to let my first failure discourage me, so instead I used it as motivation. I waited a whole year to prove to myself that I could do it, when all I needed to do was believe that from the very beginning. Thanks for watching!